back into the rabbit hole with Noah and Ham, Shem, and Japheth, and all their wives. See, Noah was worn out after the flood, and before the flood and during the flood, worn out. He's the main male leader, and he's just worn out, making sure everybody's got what they need, making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to, receiving the messages from the Lord. And he gets drunk on his wine, passes out naked. Some people think that his nakedness could refer to his wife. And but Ham comes in and sees his dad passed out, drunk, naked, and runs immediately off to, I guess immediately, but he might have lingered around to investigate, who knows. But he eventually goes to his brothers and says, "Hey, I just found Dad in all his shame, passed out, drunk, and just for the world to see." And his brothers, they're like, "Oh, okay, well, did you cover him?" "No." "Well, they went and they covered him, trying to avoid seeing him naked, or his wife naked." I'm not sure. This is what people debate about, but I believe it was Noah. And, here Ham is shaming his father. He had no idea the stress that Noah was under. Had no idea. And instead of sympathizing with him and going, "Oh, Lord, father's had a bad day, let me help him," he decided to shame him and deface him instead of cover his ass. And, would you cover your dad's ass? I would. And yeah, sometimes it leaves a mark on you, but it's so. Father Noah wakes up, finds out that he's been shamed or dishonored, and he's all like, "Okay, Ham, you want to be a ham? You want to be a hog for the spotlight? You will be the servant now of your brothers. You will take my role upon yourself, and you will put the burden on you, and you will know what it's like to be me." And that was that curse, this is another thing here in the South. Well, that's when, God cursed Ham and his bloodline became black people. Man, there is something about black people in the South. And it's, I don't think I was probably in my 20s when I realized Jesus was a Hebrew. And it's crazy. But yeah, stiff-necked. The Hebrews are considered stiff-necked, and I know Africans can be pretty stubborn, so wouldn't surprise me. And what about the Greeks, the pale-skinned people and all this stuff? Are they the remnants of the men of great renown that were the sons and daughters of the Nephilim, the fallen angels? Is that why we are so white and pigmented? Is because our roots were from pigmented beings that were basically in the dark, like tall grays or whites or whatever. Keep in mind, everything with a grain of salt. And if it is true, it will preserve. So that's the story of Noah. Shame, cover your dad's ass and How many times did God go, I'm erasing the board and creating new? Let's see. He kicked Lucifer out of heaven. I'm starting new. Okay. I'm kicking you out of the garden. I'm starting new. Okay. I'm flooding the earth. I'm starting new. A new heaven and new earth. Starting new. What is it that God says? Oh, look at me. I'm doing something new. So God's not still. He's living water. Constantly. He's always flowing. Always flowing. And guys, we're just passing through, so enjoy his time and use it wisely. Enemies are all around you. Turn them into something besides an enemy. Remind them that they're children of God and they need to return to him. Don't ostracize them and say you're going to hell, which that's where they're at already when they're ostracized from God. That's why they act like that, like beasts, because the Spirit of God is not within them. We are at birth. Okay, there's a video on YouTube, Suno Illuminescence, where they use vibration and they send that vibration through a vacuumed bubble the size of a pinhead inside of a water jar. It might be glycerin. And inside of that bubble, when the vibrations hit it, that bubble collapses in on itself and lights up hotter than a sun. It's called a star in a jar. It's a YouTube video. And God said, let there be light. His voice created light out of water. And Peter, I think, tells us in 1 Corinthians, he's like, do you not remember where, they purposely forget that God created all things out of water? Do you not remember? So, wow, man. Gets deep. So, see, I just trailed off again. It would be nice to do a live stream, but I don't have enough credentials to do a live stream anywhere. And, okay. Yeah, back to it. So here God is doing something new. He's breaking the clay and rebuilding the clay. Breaking the clay pot and rebuilding it. Breaking the clay pot and rebuilding it. He gets Moses out in the desert with the Israelites, and he's like, I'm done with these people. I'm killing them. I'm done with them. And Moses, at this point, has been given an opportunity to be prideful like Lucifer and be like, yeah, destroy all these mutts. Or be humble like Christ and, oh, Lord, have mercy now. Listen to what you're saying. They'll write stories and say, you only delivered them, your people, out of Egypt into the desert to slaughter them. So God is in us. And he uses us. Just like he says, I'm sending my servant Nebuchadnezzar, a heathen worshiping God, a God worshiping heathen. You know what I'm saying. Why would he call Nebuchadnezzar his servant? Because God does what he wants, and he will correct those that he loves, and he shows mercy to whom he chooses, and he makes stubborn whom he chooses, and this is his, and we are his, and we are to remind each other that we are his, and that we are made in his image, and that we are not to defile ourselves or each other, and that we are to show mercy to those who have fallen and to help them rise again, not to destroy them as the law was incomplete. It is fulfilled with Christ. Because once you realize that no one can wear your shoes and you can't wear anybody else's shoes, and that This was bound. Just like Abraham's son Isaac was bound. And just like when Isaac was bound, God provides solution. Hate the sin, not the sinner. Love you, brother. Have a great night. God bless you.